everyone. Today on ArtTalk, Dr. Andrew Shalshatzi is going to take us through the psychological challenges of beginner painting.
Thank you, Madison. Probably the most difficult thing for beginner is not so much about how to apply paint, how to mix paint, get colors. I believe it's more psychological, emotional. And I'll use an analogy. When I was a graduate student years ago, starting out my master's degree, I was not very confident about writing papers. And I talked to my supervisor about it, and he said, show your friends, let them read it, give you feedback. And I said, I don't feel like it. I'm too insecure. I'm uncomfortable. And he said, there's real irony that the most accomplished writers that he knows are the ones who are most open to feedback. It's the ones who need it the least are most open to feedback. The ones who need it the most, beginners, are the ones who are less open to it. And usually it's about self-judgment and fear and embarrassment. And I think there's a real parallel I find with beginner painters. There's a lot of self-judgment and there's a lot of fear of somebody seeing their work. They don't want people to see their work. And I like to make them show their work in class as a way to kind of overcome that, to take the risk of letting somebody else see what they're doing. It's not just to get praise. It's just to be open to feedback, to deal with that feeling of anticipation of someone not liking it, or you don't think it's very good. And maybe it isn't very good at that stage. You're a beginner artist. There's only so much that you know. Just like I hadn't done a lot of writing before I got to graduate school. So why would I expect to be good at it? So like in my art room, you can see behind me, there's a lot of art from my students. And I like to have it on display. And when they come here and pick up their paintings, and they can sort of see their own work and see everybody else's work. And almost habituate themselves or acclimatize themselves to this idea of being exposed, of somebody seeing what they're capable of at this stage of their development. And it's so important when people are saying, oh, my painting isn't very good. I'll often ask them, well, how many paintings have you done? And very often it's their first or second painting they've ever done. And that being able to accept, have the humility to understand, of course, it's not going to be very good. You're just learning. But the learning process is so improved with feedback. And I constantly now, when I'm doing commissioned portraits or anything, I'm always asking, whether it be my wife or other people, other friends, for feedback, things they might see that I haven't seen. And I'm not concerned if they're going to like it or not. I really want their honest opinion. So I think that for beginner artists, overcoming that hump of um, knowing my painting isn't where I want it to be, it doesn't really look right, that's where you have to start. You have to start somewhere. And I think that's the biggest message I give to beginner artists is don't give up at that stage. Don't protect yourself for feedback or from feedback, because that feedback is actually going to be a big part of your growth and your development. And that's the message I would want to give to beginner painters.
Okay, great. Thank you for giving us beginners that advice. And we encourage all you beginner paintings to show people and be open to feedback to improve your painting. So thank you for tuning in, and we will see you all next week for a new talk.
Thank you very much.